Greetings. Welcome to CSL Ukiah. It's wonderful to have you with us here today on this very rainy, deluge type of day. We're grateful for the rain because we need it here in Ukiah. My name is Terry Brown. I will be your presider for the day. And yes, I want to say welcome. And I wanted to also say that I do believe and I know that someplace during the course of today's service that you will whatever reason you come here for, that during the music or the sermon or the communing that we will be doing, that you will find the very thing that you have come here looking for. So I say welcome to you. We will now be doing our opening treatment, and I will be doing that. So I would ask you to sit back into your chair and begin to feel a sense of relaxation and a sense of grounding with your chair, with the earth. And we are almost ready to do this. So let us take one deep breath together if we can. So inhale and exhale. We'll be doing two more. So inhale again. Exhale again. And this time a very deep inhale and really relax with this. And release. There is only one source, and that source is God. One mind, one spirit, one presence, one intelligence, one universal consciousness that is the origin of all that is. This source is the ever-present power in all things, in all ways. I know that I am one with this power, and so all that it is, I am. The beauty, peace, joy, and wisdom of this universal mind is eternally available to me. I know that the law of God surrounds me with love and friendship. I let it radiate in my environment, bless everything I touch, make whole that which is weak, turn fear into faith, and accomplish the miracle of healing through love. Today and every day, it is my desire that what life has given to me so abundantly shall be shared with others. In this consciousness, I say, bless you, my friend. I desire for your health, happiness, and success. I desire for you love, peace, and beauty. I know my blessings are abundant, and by sharing them, I add unto myself. There is a complete stillness and perfect peace at the center of my being as I wait on the presence that makes all things perfect. I am aware of my partnership with the infinite, and I am grateful. I am filled with gratitude for this divine knowledge in my life. I release this truth to the one mind, knowing that it is already so. And with this knowing, we say, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, everybody. We have music today by Mary Buckley, one of our usuals that we love and adore. And so, Mary, are you ready for a piece of music for us?
Almost ready. Can I be host again, Mary? So I can share sound, because it will sound so much better that way.
We will see if that will work.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Okay. This song is called Let It Rain. I just couldn't resist. Wrote it in a drought year years ago. And this recording some of you may know Robin Cottrell and Margie Henderson. They've actually made some presentations at the church before. They used to run the threshold choir in Ukiah, maybe they still do. And this song, the recording is, I barely finished writing it. In fact, it isn't really finished, but their voices are so sweet here. And it's still my favorite recording of the song. You can take it as a spiritual metaphor for times of drought, spiritual drought, creative drought, praying for rain. It's called Let It Rain.
Let it rain, let it pour, let it pour, let it rain, let it wash away the dusty dust and rain some more. Let it rain, let it roll on off the mountains and make the rivers roar. Let it make the world as fresh and green as it ever was before. Let us sing a hallelujah that the heavens can't ignore. Let it rain, let it rain, let it pour. Send it down, send it down, send it down, send it down, send it down. Fill the sky, let it rain, let it pour. Fill the sky, let it rain, let it pour. Let it rain, let it rain, let it pour, let it pour. Let it rain, let it wash away the dusty dust and rain some more. Let it rain, let it roll on off the mountains and make the rivers roar. Let it make the world as fresh and green as it ever was before. Let us sing a hallelujah that the heavens can't ignore. Let it rain, let it pour. Let it rain.
That's it.
Again, we have musicians that have the voices of angels, so we are really grateful. That was really beautiful and also very appropriate because your prayers are being answered today.
So,
And
Who should I make host? I don't see Mary.
Gina.
Gina, okay.
right, so yes, we're going back to Gina. Yeah, we're having a few issues of tech difficulty because we're having to bounce the host around here, so that is causing a little bit of. So anyway, should I go ahead and introduce Gina then?
Yeah.
Today's speaker, we are grateful to have Gina Colvario Krupka as today's special speaker. She's been with us before. She always has wisdom to share with us, and we're always grateful to have her here. And so, Gina, are you with us now? We're not yet there.
I am.
There she is. There she is. Hello, Gina. Nice to have you with us. And so I'm going to introduce you, though, first, now that you're here. So Gina Colvario Krupka is blessed to be a wife, a proud mother of 2, and a grandmother of 4. She is a senior at the Florida campus of the Holmes Institute and a licensed religious science practitioner. She is also the spiritual director of CSL Greater Boston, which meets both in person and virtually. Gina helps lead the prayer team on New Thought Media Network, which broadcasts live on Facebook and YouTube. She hosts and produces 2 weekly live shows, The Peace Circle and The Joy is in the Journey. Gina is the founder of Believe in You Today, as well as a certified life coach, published author of 3 books, and a motivational speaker with over 25 years of experience in speaking, coaching, training, and workshop facilitation. Her passion is helping people realize their potential and live happy and fulfilled lives. And it is with gratitude that we welcome her here today. Hello, Gina. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you all. And I love seeing your faces because they're familiar to me. Thank you for inviting me back. Thank you. This is actually my third time speaking here. I feel like I'm part of the family. So thank you. It's a blessing. And Mary, that song was absolutely beautiful. The harmonies, absolutely gorgeous. I am going to ask if Mary at the center can put me as host, because it is the center's holding it at the moment. And I have a slideshow that I need to share. So today's topic is a wonderful one. The theme for the month is going further together. And today's topic is actually dig deep. How much of our life have we really had to do that? Dig deep. And the interesting times that we are living through, we need to dig deep. And that means different things. And we give it the connotation. And that's what we need to remember, that we are the ones making that choice as far as how things work and how things show up. So when we talk about going further together, we're giving, but we're giving in a way that it is not just for us. We're doing this for more than us. We are one part of a grander scheme. And it's so important that we remember that we get the opportunity to be in this place of choice with that. It doesn't need to be fear in that. It can be simply allowing the grander picture to unfold and trusting that there's something greater that's helping it to do that. LeBron James said, "All my life I've been striving to make myself better. It's a full-time commitment to be the best. You have to work the hardest. You have to chase what seems impossible over and over again, because giving up is not an option. And when you feel like you've reached your limit, it's only the beginning. That's when it's time to dig deep, to find the courage to push some more. Because if you've got the drive, the discipline, and the resolve to do what it takes to make yourself great, then the rewards are endless." So you get the opportunity every day to make that choice. We're not born for mediocrity. Sometimes we fall into it. Sometimes we were raised in it. Sometimes we were never told. But we come to this teaching knowing that we're not made to be average. We're here for greatness. There's a spirit within you, within each one that you see on this magnificent screen, and all that you may not. You are that individualized expression, and as is everyone else. Some aren't destined to be more than others. It's a question of how deep are we looking? How deep are we expecting? And where is that expectation? Where am I placing? And I don't mean expectation in a guilt kind of way, because that's a dangerous thing. We don't want to go there. I mean it in a way of what am I expecting? Where is my good? Now, I think of it as this iceberg. There's so much of life that we can't see. But all of that success came with all of these things that build on it. When we say dig deep, it takes risk and failure, doubts, criticism, discipline, sacrifice. It takes rejections. It takes late nights, persistence, and hard work. Success isn't a coincidence. It doesn't have to be hard in the sense of awful, but it takes what it takes to get to where it is we choose to be. If it was easy, everybody would do it, in the sense of simple. We can let it be easy. Spirit within us can do the work, but it still takes what it takes to get there. So digging deep is realizing that there's so many more layers than just what I see. It's not getting frustrated because I'm not seeing it yet. It's understanding that there's something bigger than me that is boundless. You know, it doesn't mean that it doesn't get messy. It doesn't mean that there's not forgiveness and shame and all that stuff that we have to work through in our life, because it came from different times, different places. False beliefs, some that we created, some that were handed to us. But we get the choice and we get the ability to change that. But it's up to us to do that. So I believe that spiritual practices are the way that we can do this. We evolve and expand in consciousness through our own personal development. And what does that mean? You know, what does it mean that I can expand my consciousness? Well, Ernest Holmes said, deep within each of us, there's a place of calm, of peace and security, where trouble and accidents do not occur, where truth and love reign supreme, and good is the only power. It is to this place that we go daily in the silence of our own minds to commune with the spirit that is both around us and within us. So we go to this place daily, and this is the place that gets us there. These are the tools that help get us there. There's not just one, and on any given day, the same one isn't going to work that worked yesterday necessarily. But these are the tools that do that. So what does that look like on our daily life? How do we make it so that we're doing this as a routine? You know, classes, sacred study is a great way to start. It's knowing that I'm continually learning, which means I'm continually going deeper in what it is that I do. You know, I've known people that are in these teachings for 30, 40 years that are still taking the same classes over again, foundations even, because that's where it all began. That's the basis of it all. And if there's one thing that I have learned, the more I learn, the less I know. So when I go back to the basics again, suddenly I realize I allowed myself to go so far out of the zone that I'm not keeping it simple anymore. And it's not fun. It's supposed to be fun. Life is, we are joy. We mentioned that earlier before we got started. Joy is always available. It's an inherent quality of divine. It is always there. If it seems to be missing, it's like when it's dark in the room, you turn on a light. Well, what does that mean? You have to find the light. It's within you. It's within the room. It's not somewhere else. Sometimes we need our community to come together to help me find my light, because you can see it in me in a way that I can't see it in me. You see it in each other. You know that it's there. You remind each other about it, whether it's the way that you fix your hair, whether it's the way you look today, whether it was Terry's treatment or Mary's beautiful voice. We remind ourselves of our qualities that we love. And that's what's so blessed about a spiritual community, is that we see beyond the worldly stuff. We know the truth of each other. We look in each other's eyes in a way that no one else can, and see that divine, with the divine expectation, without the distractions of the stuff. It doesn't matter who's our sisters or brothers or the family drama. We look in each other's eyes and say, how are you? And mean it. There's a love there that spiritual family has that nothing else does. There's a different level and layer of understanding. And that's the gift. That's why even without a senior minister in the moment, you're still here on Sunday together, loving and appreciating each other, lifting each other up in amazing ways. It takes a special group of people. It takes a family to be able to do that. Not everyone succeeds. You haven't met in person in a very long time, yet here you are with smiles on your faces, with joy in your heart, and with the truth on your mind and heart, because you know who you are and you reflect it to each other every Sunday. And that's what it's about. That's why we do these practices. You know, We can do quiet contemplation on our own. We can journal and allow that to come out. And we were talking before, I was speaking with Terry about visioning. I love visioning. Visioning, if you don't do it regularly, honor yourself with that. You're welcome to reach me during fellowship. I'll give my email and contact information out again. If you want to do it as a center, I would love to help lead it. Visioning is where we open ourselves up and let spirit speak through us. You know, what I think that I'm capable of is the top of that iceberg, because it's what I've seen. But spirit sees the whole thing. There's a huge difference. Spirit knows the big picture, not just mine, but of it all. So what spirit shines through is so much bigger than what I would have ever thought. So we have these tools, the greatest of which is affirmative prayer or treatment, where we claim the truth. We know the truth. There's a reason it's set up the way that it is. Spirit is, therefore I am. What's more powerful than that? And sometimes we forget. So we claim it. It's our birthright. And we put it into the law with expectation and gratitude, setting it free, knowing it's done. That is a powerful tool that we dig into, where sometimes we forget and don't. So it's the tools that we get. And sacred service, there's so much that comes from sacred service, I cannot tell you. I have, in so many ways in my life, just this week, Terry sent me an email, and he did it out of service. He sent me an email that sent me your weekly newsletter, which I appreciated. And I said, it was so great to be here. And I loved that I'd been here, before. I love your community. And he replied to me with the nicest comment. And, he remembered me having been here before. And it was the perfect time that I needed that. I'm in the midst of classes. There's a lot going on. And sometimes you doubt yourself. It's human nature. It's not our divine nature, but we forget. We all have that built-in forgetter sometimes. And it was just perfect timing. So my sacred service had him giving me sacred service at the exact right moment. But if I hadn't, and he hadn't, it wouldn't have happened. It's not the grand acts. It's calling someone in kindness. It's reaching out. It's caring and loving, which we do anyway. It's just taking that next step. And what does that look like? And that's what's ours to do. And it's really important that we continuously ask that question, because there's a difference between our life being full and fulfilled. Fulfilled means that it's much more than that. I get the opportunity to live the life of choice. Okay. Now this I love. This is actually from Brené Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection. So it's letting go of what we no longer need in favor of what we choose. So I'm going to let go of what people think about me, and I'm just going to be authentically me. I'm not going to be a perfectionist. I'm going to have compassion for myself. So it's letting go of being powerless and being resilient and knowing it. Letting go of scarcity and fear for gratitude and joy. We get a choice. We can choose, instead of anxiety, we can choose calm and stillness. We can choose to be creative, intuition, and trusting in faith. These are the things that we get to choose. We can let go of self-doubt, and I'm supposed to, and choose meaningful work. How's that for a novel concept? Something that I enjoy doing. And yes, it may be a lot, but it feels good when I do it. I can see that I'm doing something that I'm here to do. And the last one says being, there's a difference between in control versus allowing, the laughter, the song, the dance, and to things to just go with the flow. You have all of this within you. We do, but do we remember it at every moment? Do we pay attention to it? So are we digging deep enough is the question sometimes we have to ask ourselves. And what does that look like? Okay. Digging deeper isn't just, doing more, because more of the same, if you've ever been stuck in the mud, and you start rolling your tires, you start spinning those wheels, you get deeper in the mud. See, I'm in the Northeast, so we think of snow. Trust me, you end up deeper and deeper and deeper. You certainly don't get yourself out of it. So it's not just about doing more, it's about doing it differently. So we come together in community, we show up and allow everyone's voice and interest to be included. We work together in camaraderie, brings love and shared accountability and participation. Therefore, as we go further together, we simultaneously grow together. So we do it as a group, yes, within your community, this beloved community, but we celebrate each other. Together, we are better. It is just easier to share life, especially the messiness, because there's things that you're good at that I'm not going to be, and vice versa. So we're supposed to share these things. It's not about sometimes, it's about all the times. We're not supposed to just treat and know when we're in a jackpot. It's part of our everyday life. Now, Thich Nhat Hanh said, enlightenment, peace, and joy will not be granted by someone else. The well is within us. And if we dig deeply in the present moment, the water will spring forth. So it's never about someone else. It's never somewhere else. You know, there's how many of my daughter just moved to Florida about a month ago, and she tried for a geographical cure. There's a part of her that thought that it's going to be easier down there, and we tried to tell her, you take you with you. You realize that, right? It's not like when you get there things are going to be different. You have to be different, and the jackpots followed her in different ways, and it's hard. But I have to center in myself and know what is mine to do, and then know what isn't, and trust spirit with the rest of it. So we do that every day in different ways. And there is that power within us that guides us if and when we allow it to do so. Now, the third point about digging deeper, and I will put this on, I'm actually going to put this on, a lot of these slides are already on CSL Greater Boston website if you wanted to take a look at them. So you're welcome to look at them tomorrow whenever you would like to. The third one is to be a team or a tribe. A spiritual community is a family, much more than one person. As we build on each other's gifts and strengths, we excel through more ideas, creativity, and diversity. A jigsaw puzzle requires multiple pieces to make a whole picture. Each piece is in service to the whole. Each piece by itself is just a fraction of the possibilities available. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. As a collective, we are limitless. So when we come together, there is power there, amazing power in amazing ways. And we get that opportunity on any given day to start again. When the rain comes down, it's like a purification. We get that choice. We get to decide. How do you choose that? How do you choose to live in that mosaic of life? See, sometimes we think we've got to do it all. We should, would, could, and our life should look like somebody else's. And if it doesn't, I'm doing it wrong. We're supposed to be different. When you look at a puzzle, every piece has different colors. Every piece has different shapes. Some are edges, some in the center. They're all different in every way. We would never say, well, I really wish I had two of these. You would never say that. So why do we compare our piece to other pieces? We do it all the time in so many ways. And the truth is there any one piece that's more important than any other? If any one is missing, the whole puzzle's gone. There's nothing that it can do. So we're supposed to be just us. And if we're not, something is missing. That hole is missing. And that's where we find our peace. Our peace, our inner peace, is being at peace with who we are and whose we are. It's about remembering. We've got these built-in forgetters. Kids are born fearless, and then we put it into them. We tell them all the things they can't do and should be afraid of. Go, whether you have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, hang around with kids, and you will have fun, unless you tell them all the things not to do, and then they won't have fun. So we can learn a lot from each other. And it's allowing that to be. Sometimes we take it all so seriously. And it's not to say that life isn't difficult at times. But if we make it hard work, it will be hard work. The gift of the law is that it's the doer. Okay, I'm a very heart-centered person. I am warm, fuzzy. I absolutely, you can see, actually, if you look, you can see love on my pillows behind me. I am very much love-centered. And for the first, I'd say, even 7 or 8 years in this teaching, that's all I was all about the love. And I missed out because you know what? Law is what makes it easy. I put what I want in and I step back and let spirit do its thing. How easy is that if I let it be? However, if I keep going in the oven, is it cooked yet? Is it cooked yet? Is it cooked yet? It's not going to cook because I just took away the heat of the oven. How many of us do it? Micromanage spirit in amazing ways. You get the option every day to pay attention in these practices and listen. Let your intuition guide you. It's easy. Your emotions tell you if you're happy, you're in the right direction. If you're not, you're not. Kids know that, right? Babies, immediately we come out knowing when they're not happy, you know it, they're crying. So it's being that every day. Are you on the rumble strip? Disease, that's the rumble strip of life. Any kind of disease is telling us there was a breaking point. Sadness, it's a breaking point. And don't get me wrong, I always really, it's not about spiritual bypass. All is well, but it doesn't always feel well. When it doesn't feel well, don't pretend. Fix things. And I don't mean fix it in the sense of, I'm going to figure this out, but simply, how do I come to terms with what is? It's not denying it, and it is rising above it, but letting spirit change it or change me. My prayer oftentimes is fix my eyes, because it's what I'm looking at. It's not the thing itself. It has nothing to do with it. It's my reaction to what it is I'm seeing. We look at our country and there's so much division. I'm sure just in who's here now has different views of all kinds of different things. It is not about right or wrong. It's not about that. It's supposed to be different. But I need to honor and love you. I don't always have to like you. I'm not going to lie. There's people we don't like, things that they do that may drive us crazy. But that doesn't mean you're not still one with me. And if I'm against you, I'm against myself. If I'm angry at you, I'm the one dealing with it. How does that make any sense? I just gave away all of the power that I have because something that I didn't like. So I took the poison. I'm going to die for you. Why would I do that? Why would I cause disease? Why would I cause bad things upon myself because I'm pissed at you? So it's learning how to live my life differently, to really be in that place of knowing, am I on the rumble strip? It doesn't mean that we don't experience grief. There's grief and loss all the time, but not changing my attitude. That's up to me. Sometimes we get stuck there. That's suffering. Being stuck in the pain is suffering. And it's a choice. whether it's conscious or subconscious. It's not, there's no blame in that in any way. It's just simply the way it is. When we suffer, it's because we're stuck in pain. We're in that mud, and either we don't know how to get out or we don't want to get out. When my sister transitioned, my mom went into a deep depression. And for the 13 years that my mom was here after that, she had times that she was better than others, but she was never herself again. She couldn't allow herself to live again. She didn't think she should. I really think that's what it was. She didn't know how to move past grief. And she didn't think she should be here anymore. And, I'm not judging it, but it's a choice. And it's not conscious. She didn't consciously say, I don't want to be happy today, but she didn't know how not to be. She didn't have these teachings. She had an upbringing that told her that, and she believed it. She didn't really do the work to let go of the grief aspect. Yes, I miss her every day, my mom and myself every day, but I'm not going to have less of a life because of it. I look at my grandchildren and I think, they can't all be on the planet at the same time. Everybody that we love could not be here all at once. It's just the way it works. And when I get into, the whole, it's not fair kind of a comment, because that's another one of those things that we say, but it's not fair. The law is fair. It works accordingly. What I think about, I bring about. If I'm in grief and depressed, I will get more to bring me to grief and depression. If I am joyful, there's more that's going to come that's joyful. So what am I practicing and focusing on? The law is what is fair, and all that goes along with it. Are we using it correctly? It doesn't mean life always goes the way I want it to, but my attitude through it is what makes a difference. And faith is where I fall. That is, without a doubt, my life raft. That when I have fallen and everything else is falling apart, faith is where I go. So, we all have those days, moments, times. And I encourage you, really to think about what is mine to do. And I'm just another. Barack Obama has said, it's moments like these that force us to try harder and dig deeper, and to discover gifts we never knew we had, to find the greatness that lies within each of us. And that doesn't, whatever your abilities, whatever your experience, whatever your gender, ethnicity, nationality, language, age, all of those things, you're different. Therefore, what you have to offer and your perspective is different. Remember that it's a gift. And that I am because we are. I am who I am because of the people around me. I learned what I've learned because of the circles that I've chosen. And in that knowing, it's huge. Brene Brown said, there's a deep sense of love and belonging, is an irreducible need of all people. We are biologically, cognitively, physically, and spiritually wired to love, to be loved, and to belong. And I am so grateful to have found a place that's what we're based on. That is what CSL is all about, no matter where we are. We know in this oneness that it is about community. And how I treat you is going to come back on me, because there is only one. And that community can lift us when nothing else does. We forget. Especially on that rumble strip, it gets scary sometimes. Messy, scary, ugly, sad, all those emotions. We don't want people to see us like that, but that's when we need them the most. If all you do is put on the brave face and show up on Sunday, you're not getting what you need out of this. Trust me, I was that person in class that sat there and argued with them. How do you know? And why should I believe you? I was that person because I want to know the truth. And it has to feel like truth. Ask why. Ask whatever you need to, but ask the right people. Because if you go in a room full of miserable people, you're going to end up miserable. You know, my dad used to say, show me who you hang with and I'll show you what you are. That's what he used to say to me. And, you know, we get this opportunity to come to people that know truth, to know the greatness that they are. And before I go into a prayer, and I apologize, I'm going a little long, but I have one of my poems I'd love to share with you. It's called Getting Back Up Again. Life has its highs and lows, and each are opportunities to grow. Nobody wants to fail or fall, but all do, unless they continue to play small. There are many things you will be called to do, and if you pay attention, you will know what is yours to do. Nobody else is here to create the life experience meant to be your fate. There will be discouragements and even doubt at time, but you are always connected to divine mind. Some doors will shut while others slam, and you may even feel hurt again and again. For on our path of life, we must crawl, walk, and eventually take flight. These cycles can repeat, taking resilience, hope, and faith to create. Remember that growing pains can surface at any age, but the power within you is propelled by your divinity. You are mighty, strong, and free to create your joyful destiny. So if in any moment you forget, simply dust off any seeming regret. For it took every experience, lesson, and heartbreak to create the life that leads you to flight. So knowing that flight, knowing that perfect place, perfect time, right here, right now, I invite you to go within and to just take a breath. Breathe in that truth, that mighty truth, that there is only one, and it is pure power. Love, light, harmony, joy, peace, perfection, absolute wholeness. And that perfection, that oneness, that allness is in all and through all, including me. I am that I am presence. And as I know it of me, I know it of each one that is watching this service, each one that will, each one that we love, and the ones we haven't even met yet. Each one is that truth, and I claim it for each one. I know the joy of life is right here, right now, and I celebrate it. That the infinite potential of this beloved community that has stayed through so much is attracting the right and perfect minister. I know that the love of each one is lifting the lives of each other in this family, this beautiful Ukiah family. I know that abundance, just as those raindrops are finally falling as manna from heaven, I know that the blessings are just as great in every aspect of life. So I allow them to purify everything as it purifies the land and the ocean. I allow that purification of the soul, clarity of thinking, perfect harmony, perfect peace, perfect joy. And having claimed it and knowing the truth that cannot come back void. So I give it to the law and I let it be easy. I let it be joyful. I have joyful anticipation as a child on Christmas morning, opening it up, knowing that whatever's inside is perfect and wonderful. I know it is joyous and easy. So I set it free and I let it be. And I celebrate it. I say, amen and blessed be. And together we say, and so it is.
Yes.
Blessings and love, and thank you. You are all in my heart, and I'm so grateful to be a part. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Gina. Okay. We need Mary to become the host again. So
I am
great.
trying.
Okay, now I think it's good.
Okay. All right. So we say thank you to Gina. I know there is so much wisdom and truth and genuineness in everything that you've shared with us today. I know that I need to make a recording of everything you've said today and listen to it repeatedly, because I know that by hearing your words every time, there's great power in it and great truth, great beauty, and it really was really incredible. So thank you, Gina. We love having you here, and we appreciate you very much. So thank you, Gina. Now it is time for our offering. Oh, yes, sorry. First and foremost, thank you for your ongoing support. It is because of your generosity that we are able to do what we do. If you are in the sanctuary, there are baskets by the door. For those of you on Zoom, there are PayPal as well as other options at the cslukiah.org website. And now we are going to say the affirmation. So there we go. Please say our offering affirmation with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies this gift. With all my heart and all my mind, I know that I am saying yes to something I value. With all others present here, we dedicate these gifts to the values and the visions we share. Thank you all for that. We will be continuing Sunday service next week, both live and via Zoom. You can find the link either in the newsletter, the homepage. For some reason, I've not had success getting into a couple of the meetings, so the one at the newsletter definitely works. So maybe try that one first for next week. Remember, we have to wear masks when we're here in the building. Let's see. We also are still contributing to building bridges. And so if anybody needs information about that, you can call 707-234-3270. I would like to say thank you to Mary Hooper for being our tech person today. And thank you to Gail for being everything that she is, which is everything. And also thank you to Jack and everybody else that participates in these. Next week, I believe Jack will be your presider. I believe that we will have Elizabeth McDougall playing piano, if I have that correctly, which will be great, the second time in 3 weeks for her, which is wonderful. And we have Lynn Fritz, Reverend Lynn Fritz, being our speaker next Sunday. So that is what we can expect then. So we have a closing song. Oh, hi there. Yes,
Hi.
Is that Teresa? Would you like to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say, I'm gonna send this to you, Terry. There's a new list for the homeless center. Because the weather has changed. We don't need sandals anymore.
Right.
For adults, men and women, they need new or gently used rain gear. I mean, really, we all know that. And warm jackets, scarves, hats, gloves, boots, cups, either they said ceramic, but I know every time we start bringing ceramic over there, they say too much. So they say cups, ceramic or paper cups. And of course, toilet paper and paper towels. And I want to recommend that we really up this consciousness, because this is really a hard time to be homeless. It's really raining. We can think about people, what happens when they're out there in the elements like this. And so when we're out and about, like people that go to Costco, I mean, I pick up a thing of socks or or something that you see, toilet paper, a big thing of toilet paper, to rev that up a little bit. And maybe my thought, maybe we could, truly nobody, really it wasn't utilized, people coming to my house. So maybe people have been doing it directly to the center, to the homeless center. But maybe we could reconsider, because people used to always bring it when we did it at the church. So I don't know, maybe a couple times or once a week, and give a time that people could drop it by, or something that makes people more comfortable to, take it to one spot. So we can, and I really wouldn't mind delivering it over there. People, we can talk about what the best way is, but I was just thinking, we need to rev it up a little bit, and, because that's who we are. So who people are, and maybe other people have a better idea how to make that work a little bit better, more flowing, and because we were, I know that people are still donating on some level, but how can we do it with a more focused approach? So that's all.
Thank you, Teresa. That's wonderful you're involved, and also, so if people have questions, they might be able to talk to Teresa as well. Or you can contact us at the church, and we will try and get information back out. The location, I believe, is 1045 South State Street. Homeless shelter. Right, and so that's where you can also drop donations, or also at Trudy Morgan's front porch, 408 West Mill Street in Ukiah. So thank you for that. We now have our closing song with Mary Buckley, who will be doing a lovely piece for us again. So Mary, are you there and ready?
Thanks, Terry. Yeah, this is a song that talk about serendipity. This is a song I was going to sing last month when Clovis was talking, and he talked about quantum physics and faith and God. And so I switched to a different song that day. This is the one I was going to do. It's called Joy Comes. And we've been talking about joy today. And I love that Thich Nhat Hanh quote. I did a screenshot, and that might turn into a song, who knows, part of it anyway. But this one, I had written the chorus years and years ago and buried it, and then came across it in my files cleaning out stuff recently, and wrote it in a really low state. I couldn't sing this without crying for a long time. I'm over that now, but it's called Joy Comes. So the verses are recent, and okay, Joy Comes. Maybe I can put the words in here for you, hum along if you want, or if you can't hear the words. There. It isn't a steady state. I never supposed it was meant to be, but joy comes when it's not what I'm looking for. In the midst of hopeless pain, in a desert dry and aching for rain, a cool and foggy morning gives me hope again. It isn't a steady state. I never supposed it was meant to be, but joy comes when it's not what I'm looking for. Feeling sorry for myself and not concerned for anyone else. I comfort a friend who's feeling sad and forget the tragedy I thought I had. It isn't a steady state. I never supposed it was meant to be, but joy comes when it's not what I'm looking for. Fearing for the world and the horrors awaiting humanity, then I see a child's full-hearted smile and feel a return of sanity. It isn't a steady state. I never supposed it was meant to be, but joy comes when it's not what I'm looking for. It isn't a steady state. I never supposed it was meant to be, but joy comes
comes when it's not what I'm looking for. Joy comes when it's not what I'm looking for.
That is perfect. We love having you here. We love hearing your voice. And we are very glad to have everyone who has joined us today. Thank you again to Gina for being here, who is absolutely incredible. And thank you all to our community for participating in today's service, and a few techie things here and there, but we can blame it on the rain. And so I wish you all a beautiful day and a beautiful week, beautiful month, beautiful year, beautiful life. And so we are grateful for everything. And so we will close this service today, and we will say namaste.